Hello and welcome to a first impressions of fall 2014. Joining me today is TheCanipaEffect and TipperAnime or TipperHentai. You guys want to introduce yourself?
No, that's fine. You've done it well enough with TheCanipaEffect.
Well, yeah, that's your name, right?
Yeah.
Named after the rainforest.
Yes, of course. In
like
the
the
upper
Scottish,
levels
the
of
Scottish
the rainforest. That's exactly where I got the name from.
Because that's where you watch all your anime.
Of course.
High in the trees.
Of course. It's a long extension lead, but I manage.
Just a really quick question. What is your guys' favourite hairstyles for anime girls?
Twintails. Twintails.
That could have failed so badly if both of us said something different. I just like it down.
Just ponytail.
Yeah.
Lewis knew. He knew that I love Twintails so much.
Yeah.
I think your icon in Skype is someone with Twintails.
Exactly. So. It's fucking Nico, man.
So Twintails, yeah. I don't actually. What's the full name of the show? Is it Ori Twintails something like that?
It's gonna be the Twintail or Ore no Twintail ni Narimasu. Japanese
something
words.
like that. I think people just call it Twintails though.
Yeah.
But it's production IMS who done Data Live. Or they done Data Live 2, they didn't do Data Live 1. So you can kind of see that though. It's kind of the same art style.
They did the shit
especially the character designs and stuff. Yeah. And the director done Orimo, Hiroyuki Kanbe, which I don't know if that says anything about the show. But yeah, I quite like this show. I don't know about you guys.
It's saving anime. It's the only reason that I still watch anime. It's the fact that stuff like this can come out of the ground and say, hey, we're a show about liking Twintails and a guy who loves Twintails so much that he's given the power to become
someone with Twintails. Like a armoured girl with Twintails to fight a lizard man who has a fetish for Twintails.
I like to think that that IMS just...
I'm not even saying it ironically that I like it. I genuinely thought it was a really good episode. I only watched episode 1, but...
Oh, episode 2, it gets even better. I like to think IMS just saw Himigoto ending last season and was like, we need to get in on the trap genre.
Yeah, it's actually a light novel adaptation. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure how entertaining it would be to read. It doesn't seem like that sort of show. It's like, oh, look at the cover.
There's not really much interesting dialogue.
Yeah.
The transformation sequence just wouldn't be the same in light novel. Like, that was so great. When he just turns into a cute girl, Twintails. Like, I don't want to read that. That would suck. I want to see it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
Beautiful Twintails.
This is definitely a show I'll be watching.
Oh yeah.
For its full duration, whatever it's like a 24 or a 13, I don't know.
It can be 100 and I'll be fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be good. 100 episodes of Twintails episodic. Is it going to be episodic? I think it's probably going to be somewhat episodic.
It's somewhat episodic, yeah. Like
there'll be a new bad guy.
Like a new bad guy comes in, tries to steal away one of the wondrous things in life, and he, whatever you want to go with, comes and takes it back.
Yeah. But what isn't somewhat episodic is Parasyte.
Are you going to do these transitions all the way through?
Look, I'm a professional. I do things professionally.
I think he's wrote down all these like segues. Just ready.
That's what the notes.
I actually have like notes here, and for Twintails I've got "What's your favourite hairstyle?" in quotes. That was planned.
Brilliant.
But that what's not episodic was not planned. That was off the hook.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah. Parasyte's actually a 1980s manga adaptation.
Yeah.
Manga started in 1988, which is weird.
It's really weird.
I presume it's not very faithful, because that would be weird if it was like set in the 80s, because it seems to be pretty modern.
Yeah.
And it's got dubstep music in it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. If you were to tell someone, yeah, this was written in the 1980s, I think the first thing they'd say is, why the dubstep?
Yeah, I don't think dubstep was in it in the 1980s.
Yeah.
But it was a fairly interesting premise. Fairly interesting first episode, anyway.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain the premise to me? Because I haven't watched this show. I need to know.
It's about a guy who gets taken over by this parasite thing, and is it his right hand or one of his hands is like
Right hand.
morphs into this kind of thing, like it looks like a slug with like eyes and a mouth and stuff like that.
Right, I thought guys transforming into girls was a bit of a weird concept, but
okay. When you try and explain it, it's really bizarre, but it isn't actually as it's still kind of obscure when you watch it, but it isn't as bizarre as it sounds. I'm not really sure what the plot is just now, to be honest, because they didn't really talk about what he's going to do with his weird hand.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like these parasites are like spreading throughout Japan and they're killing everyone.
I don't know. What will he do with that right hand?
I hope they don't show us.
I think there's a scene like that. I think I've seen a scan of the manga where something along those lines actually happens.
I might just drop it right now.
No. It's the only reason why I'm continuing. That's a scene that needs to be played out.
With dubstep music.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I'm really liking Parasyte.
Yeah, I would say I would say Parasyte was good, but it wasn't brilliant.
Oh my god.
You know what show calls itself
brilliant?
brilliant?
My god. Do it. I'm just gonna...
Amagi Brilliant Park.
What a great show. What a brilliant show.
So what did you guys think of the first episode?
It was
I thought it
magical.
was pretty good. Especially for KyoAni, who normally do kind of like slice of life stuff.
Yeah, this is...
Magi's
Although this
a slice of life.
director, who does a lot of KyoAni stuff, has done like Haruhi Suzumiya and Full Metal Panic.
Yeah.
So he does the better kind of. He doesn't when I think KyoAni, I think like K-On! And those kind of like slice of life anime where nothing really happens.
Yeah.
K-On's a 4-coma, and this is an adaptation of a full light novel.
It had a manga and a light novel.
Yeah, the manga actually follows what the anime is. The anime is actually deviated from the light novel quite a lot.
And it looks like there's like 3 separate editions of the manga, so it looks like there's lots of story to adapt. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another season and some OVAs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
After this season.
Does that mean that you're reckoning that we won't see a resolution to this story at the end of this season, or do you think it will continue on? Like we won't get to see the park being decent.
I can see them concluding the story, but then being able to carry on that story after the story is finished. Say, I don't know, he restores the park, whatever. I can kind of see them being able to make another season out of something else. I don't know. I looked at the manga titles and like they looked like they were different stories, but I mean under the same premise.
I feel like they're building up the world so much in the show that like you could just create any story from the world and people would still like love it and it would still fit perfectly. Because like just from the first episode and like the second and the third that I've watched, like they're going around and trying to develop every single part of the park, so we kind of know exactly what's going on, which is a lot more than other KyoAni shows do with the same.
I mean, I presume they restore it and then all is happy. That's what I'm guessing was happening.
Yeah, although they might have a second season where they're competing or something.
Yeah, like it's not like some bad guys can show up and start fighting them and stuff like that. You can only take that so far. It's like a theme park. Once you restore it, that's it. I've only watched the first episode. Maybe they expand it more in like the second episode or something. But I don't know, it seems like a pretty interesting. The animation was obviously really nice as well.
The fight scenes are literally the best. Like some of the lighting, like the effects and just all the magic and stuff just looks crazy.
Yeah, I did actually like the fight scenes in this. And do you know what else has fight scenes? Akatsuki no Yona. I don't know if anyone else has watched this. I can't remember.
This is
it not?
It's
Yeah,
got
it
hardly any fight scenes. That's a terrible transition.
What the samurai show?
Yeah, it's got hardly any fight scenes.
That's got fight scenes, is it?
It's a bit.
Oh, maybe it doesn't.
Of everything on this list, I thought Akatsuki No Yona, that was going to be the. I'm spoiling.
I've already set the order. I've already set the order, and I haven't put transitions for all of them. So, okay, do you know what doesn't really have that much fight scenes, but kind of seems like it would? Akatsuki No Yona. The guy who directed this actually directed some episodes in Code Geass and Tiger and Bunny. He's got a fairly good portfolio.
Okay.
Which is pretty interesting, because I liked the first episode, and a lot of people didn't for some reason.
I
thought it was like Dynasty Warriors, the anime.
No, that's Kingdom. Akatsuki no Yona, it doesn't seem like, I don't know why I'm still watching it, because it doesn't seem like it has that much interesting about it. But the end of episode, have you watched up to episode 2?
No, I've only watched the first episode, which was pretty not action packed, but drama packed.
Yeah,
there was a lot of stuff going on.
Episode 2, the end of it, this isn't a spoiler, but it alludes to there being more, and I think there's going to be this big evolution of Yona as a character to like pampered princess to badass.
Yeah, badass. That's what the openings certainly said.
Yeah. Oh, that is a great opening though. I love that stylized Japanese music sort of thing.
I mean, overall it looked pretty cool, but some people just haven't been liking it, and I guess maybe it doesn't hold up for the rest of the show, because they kicked off with such a strong first episode. Like, it's kind of hard to follow that.
Yeah.
When you've got all this kind of stuff going on, all this kind of politics and family relations and stuff like that, it's kind of hard just to then transition into like a normal adventure show.
Yeah, I hope they can keep it up though, because I don't want to have to get through, oh yes, I'm now excited about what's happening, to, oh, this is getting actually really boring, because I get the feeling we're going to see training arcs and that sort of stuff when...
Oh god, I can just imagine that.
Yeah, when really I want to see them doing things.
So yeah, Studio Pierrot done this, and they done Tokyo Ghoul last season, Baby Steps 2 seasons ago. It's pretty interesting how they animated it, because I actually have quite a good insight into the animation industry now, because I've watched Shirobako.
I was wondering why you were talking about Studio Pierrot, because we haven't brought up many studios before that. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Shirobako. I don't understand why I like it so much, though. Because
same.
It seems like, if I was to give it a genre, I'd say educational. And
yeah, it is quite informative.
Yeah.
I don't know why I found it weird that when I was watching it and they were kind of talking about anime, I was like, whoa, they're referencing anime and stuff like that. Oh, I never see this, even though every single anime is an anime. I was like, oh, they're talking about anime. No one ever talks about anime in anime. I don't know, it was pretty interesting. I don't know how accurate it is, obviously, into the anime industry. I presume it is, since the people making it are obviously in the anime industry, but...
It's kind of meta in a way. Like, just look at... like, I assume this is some sort of, like... because it's an original... it's somewhat of an original adaptation. Series. I'm not quite sure if it's a manga adaptation directly, though. I think it's actually, like, a transmedia piece. Like, there's a manga being written that started very late last month. And
right, okay.
I think... I'm not completely clear on this because I haven't looked into the manga much, but I think the manga follows them in high school and the anime follows them...
Yeah, because that's where it started off, them in high school.
Yeah, because...
that's pretty interesting.
The manga's name is Shirobako Ueyama High School Animation Club, and I think that's meant, but what they're hoping is that people will be reading the manga and watching the anime at the same time.
Yeah, because like, thinking about it now, like they kind of introduced the whole high school setup and then just left it. And I'm just thinking about that now. That sounds kind of weird, but if the manga is kind of building on that makes sense actually.
Yeah, if there's manga readers and then they're just like, so they kind of show it and they're like, here you go, manga readers, here's your thing, and then moving on now. And then move over. My
one fear about it is how they're going to keep it interesting for X amount of episodes. Say it's 13 episodes. How are they going to like keep the interest up? Because they can't really just do the same thing every episode, kind of have a trouble with the animation because that would get boring eventually.
Yeah. Well, Bakuman did it, but through like adding drama and just things happening.
Well, they they had drama with the characters out with making thing, but
they never had like 20 characters in it. That was 2 characters and then side characters. When making anime is very different because it's a massive group effort. Yeah,
and especially because Shirobako's like that, like they've already made it into the industry, and it's just kind of like a job.
Yeah.
Like Bakuman was like them trying to make it as manga artists. This is their job. They're in the industry now. It's just kind of like a 9-to-5 job kind of thing. That's what it kind of looked like.
Is there any comedy in it or not? Because it seems like the short show, which would have comedy in.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say it bases itself off comedy, but it does have comedy moments, and like there's a lot of jokes about the anime industry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's even, instead of IG Productions, it's GI Productions, even in the same type and everything on the car, which is pretty cool. I'm guessing it's going to be full of references to the anime industry.
Yeah, and
just like little subtle hints and stuff like that.
That's cool. I just want to see it do more, because still nobody's got any idea what it is, because they never released it with any sort of premise or setting. Like the high school one, we obviously know that's about them trying to get into the industry, but hopefully we're going to see like them like struggling with stuff. Like they finish this series that they're working on at the moment, and then maybe see them work on an original piece. That might be good.
Yeah, I guess they could explore different parts of the industry, like the voice acting, the animation, the storyboarding, the directing, just, I guess, different jobs in the industry.
Yeah.
Because they can't really just do the animation every episode, because that just get old after a few episodes.
We got a bit of a look at the dubbing, like, in the second episode. But, yeah, it needs more. It needs a lot more.
Yeah.
But, strangely enough, I'm enjoying it without it having that at the moment.
I can't even think of a transition to this next one because it's such a different show. It's Cross Ange.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's watched this. I don't know if anyone knows how to pronounce this, but
Cross Ange.
Cross Ange. Okay.
Rondo of Angels and Dragons.
This caught my eye straight away because it's Sunrise, who have a nice art style, like they know how to do mech shows and stuff like that. It had dragons in it, and it had like kind of cool, well designed female characters. But then it kind of started as like a kind of politics kind of thing. There was a lot of politics going on, and some kind of racial references and stuff like that to people. I don't know, what was it, people that had special powers and people that didn't have special powers or something?
Yeah, there was saying,
was it Mana they called it?
Yeah, Mana. People who didn't have special powers. Sure, I had a point of reference on how it, because it does that discrimination thing, and it did it kind of well.
Yeah,
but
actually, I don't want to say the spoiler, but the spoiler was, I guess that was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting it anyway.
Yeah. Well, I guess
it was kind of harsh, like the way they handled the spoiler. It was like they didn't really kind of censor themselves. They just went, "Yeah, we're going to do this, and we're gonna." Especially that last scene.
We're going to
stick
it right up the arse, and
yeah, literally.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, that's gonna sound so crazy for people that haven't watched it.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And it's just as crazy as it sounds.
I think Gundam with rape is probably the
dungeon
only,
rape as well.
Yeah, the only way to explain this. But have you watched the second episode?
No, I've not. But I kind of want to, because I kind of want to see more of the dragons that they kind of started off with. Because they kind of started off with this kind of crazy dragon mech battle scene, and I was like, "Whoa, this is amazing!" And then they kind of never touched on that again.
Yeah, I think episode 2 that we're not seeing so much the politics or even the racism, because the racism is inferring that there's someone to be racist against them, but they're on an isolated island. I'm just going all out, spoiling it, aren't I? But yeah, second episode brings back those mech fights, and I've got to say,
all right,
it's some of the best mech action out there.
It is Sunrise.
It is
and they
Sunrise.
know how to do mech shows.
And are you about to transition into Gundam, or?
Actually, I'm going to transition into Tribe Cool Crew. Also by Sunrise, but with less mechs and more 3D CGI dancing.
Oh my god.
CGI dancing, the anime, and I've got no idea.
Have we all watched this, or is it just me and Callum?
It's just you two. But I know exactly. You can tell exactly what it is just from that front cover, to be honest.
That little shot I had in my video, Louis, that's the entire series.
Yeah, and it's like some like kind of, it's like street dancing, and then like ballet dancing, kind of like there's like the two dancing, and they kind of come together, and they meet up in the first episode, and it's like, it's kind of weird because it's like, I don't know if it's good, or I don't know if it's like, it could be an advert for something. It could be an advert for like new shoes or something in Japan, on these weird Japanese adverts, or it could be like a pretty decent show. Like I have no idea what to think of it.
I'm looking at the
definitely a kids show.
I'm looking at the key art, and it's just like they're all showing their shoes. They're all like pushing them forward and stuff. I'm not even kidding.
I know.
Look at them.
It's so bizarre.
It must be an advert for shoes. That's what I'm betting on now.
Yeah, right at the end, he just turns around and goes "Honjitu, Honjitu," and then it kind of ends. It's a logo.
Yeah,
that was my impression of a Japanese advert.
Good job.
The guy who directed this, though, directed a fairy tale movie, so he does know how to tell a story. At least he knows how to tell a story.
Even if it's
it is an anime original as well, which leaves us even more in the dark.
Yeah.
So I literally have nothing to say about the show because I have no idea what it's about.
The dancing is terrible, the music is terrible, the animation is terrible, the character designs are absolutely terrible. The arts, every story, everything is terrible, but it's fucking hilarious.
Everything is terrible. They should put that on the DVD front cover. Everything is terrible, but it's hilarious.
TheCanipaEffect 24.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I recommend this just because it's...
Yeah, I recommend everyone should watch the first episode. At least like the first 5 minutes of the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
Just watch one dancing sequence. Watch one CGI dancing sequence, and then...
Yeah.
And then you should be
let
good.
Let the wubs engage. Is it dubstep or is it just electronic?
I think it's like electronic. I don't even know the genre of the music they're dancing to.
Yeah, the second episode they go into like jazz swing sort of dancing.
Alright.
It's classy
they
as
kind of
hell.
make it's kind of a world where everyone dances. I guess you could kind of like say the dancing is like commonplace.
Oh yeah. It's like it's like Cross Ange in the way that if you don't dance, you get sent off to an island to fight dragons.
Well, almost like when supernatural battles become commonplace.
Oh my God.
Trigger's new show. I don't know if you guys have watched this. I can't remember if you guys have.
I just want to say, did you just go from dancing became commonplace to supernaturals?
Yeah.
Yes, I've watched Del Battle. You have Louis as well, haven't you? Please.
Louis just stunned at the transition.
These transitions. It's why you watch this, really. It's why you watch this. Anyway.
Did you watch when
I'm pretty excited for this
battles, Louis? Did you?
No, I haven't watched it.
Okay.
I think you'd like it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's Trigger doing something that is not
and
original.
Masahiko Otsuka even, who's done like directional work on Fooly Cooly, Evangelion, and Gurren Lagann. He's done like episodes in there. So
I've watched a PV of it, right? And to me, it was like, this is definitely Trigger saving anime in a high school slice of life setting. That's
it's like one of those anime that like takes place like in a club that they don't really do anything in the club and they kind of mess around, but they have like superpowers.
Yeah.
Like that's it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. The first episode was really, really good. Second episode wasn't. But have you watched the second episode of anything?
No, I just watched episode 1 of everything.
Oh, okay. Episode 2, it doesn't seem like it knows what it's doing anymore.
That's kind of disappointing, especially from Trigger. I thought they kind of at least know what they were doing.
I know. I'm surprised they lost their way, to be honest.
But it's an interesting premise. But I don't want to see an antagonist. I want to see just random reasons brought up for Bastian.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're gonna manage to pull that off from what I've seen.
Yeah, I think they should just keep it kind of comedy and not try and take themselves seriously at all.
Yeah.
Which kind of sounds like a theme with Trigger, like Kill la Kill and stuff like that, and Little Witch Academia. It's like they tend to do better not taking themselves seriously. Although Kill la Kill was like, it did manage to do that a little bit, but I think it worked the best as a kind of parody, but kind of over the top kind of self-aware parody kind of thing.
The episodes when things go absolutely ridiculous, like the episode when they went to war and they had all these regional Japanese references that meant that was valuable there.
Well, I guess Trigger are kind of a new production studio that have stemmed from Gainax, so they're still kind of making their foot in the anime community, and another studio who's doing that is Mappa.
Oh yeah.
They had the famous Zankyo no Terror from last season. Everybody was talking about it, and they also done Kids on the Slope, if anyone's watched that. But this season, I think they've got 2 shows this season, but Shingeki no Bahamut Genesis. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I like this episode. I just want to say that right.
Really like this. I also liked episode 2 that I know none of you watched either.
Yeah. The thing is, what I thought about it is, it had some scenes which were like, this is one of the best shows, and it was really fun. And then others which just weren't.
Yeah. I think it works well as a kind of action series, and then when it tried to do dialogue and stuff like that, I was like, oh, it's not boring, but it's like, I'd rather just see them running through the town again on a giant, like, rolling, what was it, like a rolling windmill or something like that.
It's very Pirates of the Caribbean, definitely.
Yeah.
It was very Western, I noticed that.
Yeah, I was getting a kind of, I don't know if you guys got this, but a kind of like 80s older anime feel from this. Just,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Not
even
just
like
from
the art, even like the character design was pretty 80s as well.
And with the whole idea of not obviously killing the bad guys, but coming up with some crazy solution, this silly trick to beat them. That seems like something that's not done so much these days.
Seems like this is another show that probably shouldn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think might be its downfall, because one problem it has is it was focusing a lot on, like, supernatural stuff, when I really feel like it shouldn't have done. Like, the first scene you see is this, like, huge, like, fantasy battle, and that was just such...
it had dragons in it, didn't it?
That was such a weird...
I just remembered it had dragons in it.
It was such a weird beginning, because, like, the scene after that was the huge chase scene, and it's like, why didn't they open with that? Because it was really action-packed anyway.
Yeah, what were the dragons all about?
I don't know.
I think that's what it's going to get to.
Did they accidentally put it in from one of their other shows?
That was actually the last episode, but they accidentally threw this footage in.
That's crazy. I just remembered that they had dragons at the start. Now I have no idea how that even fits into the story. Does it fit into episode 2? Do they raise dragons?
It's... I don't know, the girl that they meet, she reveals like that they have a reason to go up north, because that's where they kept on talking about. So I suppose something's going to happen up there. I think this is going to be one of those adventure series, like going across things. So suddenly they get caught up in some big situation.
Cave or something.
Yeah. But we don't see many shows like that. Nowadays, not just nowadays, but most shows in general, they'll start off with a plot point, and they'll end with that plot being resolved. But I guess this kind of lead up stuff, it's good. Yeah.
Props to Mappa for making some kind of unique shows lately. I think they're doing another thing this season, but I've not watched their other show.
That's
I can't remember what it's called.
Venadis. No, it's not. It's Garou the animation, which is it's action porn.
I mean, Mappa they seem to be pretty high quality in their animation. Obviously, I don't think any of their shows are as good as Zankyo no Terror. They always had a massive budget for Zankyo no Terror, but even with their lower budget stuff, it kind of still looks really good. And they're doing a lot of anime originals, which is always nice to see.
Definitely.
But that's everything I've planned for. Do you guys want to add any shows you want to talk about?
Sora No Method.
You've been waiting for this.
Sora No Method.
Celestial methods in English.
I probably could have come up with a transaction for that, but
I know. It was... You've all watched it, haven't you?
Yeah.
I watched half of it.
Half the first episode?
Yeah.
Oh.
I won't comment on that.
Here's
I won't
no,
comment on that.
we can go on with that. Why did you drop it halfway through the first episode?
It's just not my show. I can't do another drama show. After Nagi no Asakara, which I did like, I do like drama shows, I can't do it. I can't stomach it.
I'll admit, I didn't like the first episode either, but I think the second actually resolves a lot of the issues with it, because the problem with the first episode was it was just drama, and it was just kind of off-putting.
Which is why I kind of right now I don't want to watch it. I will go and watch it sometime.
Well, the thing is as well, at the end of the first episode, it kind of like you said, Callum, yourself, that they kind of showed what was actually going on, which was a bit better than at the beginning, where it was kind of just like, these are the characters you need to know.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were kind of doing, and they were like, these two characters are meeting, and that was basically the first episode.
Yeah, but she doesn't remember her childhood friends and gets bitchy at her and blah blah other stuff.
And it was great. I hope it doesn't go too supernatural, to be honest. I'd prefer if it just stuck to being a drama.
Yeah.
I think it would do better as that.
I think it's going to be really similar to Nagi no Asakara. It's got that big floating thing in the sky, which I think is going to be some kind of...
I think it'll be really similar. There'll be drama between the young characters, and then it'll have the sort of twist with, rather than under the sea, it's up in the sky.
Yeah, it'll be that kind of racial metaphor for, the people from the floating ball in the sky, we hate them or something.
Yeah, maybe.
This is a new studio though, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Correct in saying that? Louis,
I think
please?
it might be, yeah. Yeah, yes you are, Callum.
Thank you. I couldn't possibly live in a world where I'm not right. But this is a very impressive work for a first series, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. It looks really good with the water in it. I think is one of the best things.
Yeah.
If you've seen some of that.
The reflection of the water and that big UFO that's amazing.
Yeah.
Do we even know what that is yet?
No, the premise for it is a big UFO appeared, but we all got bored of it later on, so it's just there now.
That's awesome. Well, I will have to watch it, but I don't know. What I did watch, though, was Gundam. Yes. Gundam, I'm not going to pronounce Gundam. Gundam G.
Do you know Reconguista?
Reconguista.
Although I've done my research, and it turns out Reconguista isn't even a real word, so Gundam's just making it up.
Brilliant.
Is it even a word in Japanese?
No, it's not a word anywhere. I think...
just in the Gundam universe.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some big reveal over what is a Reconguista, and that's going to be the plot.
Yeah, I watched the first episode, and for someone that... I'm not mad about Gundam shows. I do really like them, but I'm not I haven't watched every single Gundam show and stuff like that. But I did really like it, and I don't know this for a fact, but I think it has something to do with Eureka 7's either animation someone or some kind of character design or something like that. Someone who worked on Eureka 7's working on this anyway, and you can kind of see it with the character designs and the mech designs and stuff. They look really good.
Oh yeah. I don't.
It is kind of unique. It feels like more unique than some other Gundam shows.
Yeah, it definitely looks different from the Universal Century stuff, and I feel that Reconguista is being set way after the Universal Century. So I think they're just tired of the typical Zeons versus Earth Corporation thing, vassal. So I think they're aiming for a new plot, but I don't know if this is going to be a new franchise, a new universe for them to put loads more series into.
God, like Gundam need that. Like Gundam need a whole new branch of different Gundam shows to make the web more intricate.
They're getting that money. Sunrise is just basking. They're building their own mecha with all this money they're making.
Yeah. Why don't we talk about Kaito Joker? I think it's only me and Callum that have watched Kaito Joker.
Damn.
It's so bad. It's
I love Kaito Joker. How can you not like the ninja?
Yeah, the little chibi
swear,
ninja that I swear I've seen in other things. Isn't he an Umpan-man? I swear.
I have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised.
I swear.
If that was a girl, if that was a lolly ninja, this would be the most popular show of the season.
Are you transitioning to Log Horizon now, or I don't know what you're trying to do?
No, that was just an observation. But sure, we can transition to Log Horizon season 2.
It's okay. I think only.
I've only watched like the first episode, but if you've watched the first episode, if you've watched the first season, you probably know what you're going to get from the second season. So
yeah,
there's not really much need for us to.
I think Dean's done an alright job on it. I was worried at first, but they haven't absolutely destroyed it like many other people seem to believe.
Yeah. I think it's probably going to be much more of what we've seen from the first season, which is like all you really want from a sequel.
That's all we've really wanted in the first place.
So why don't you guys talk about Your Lie in April? Because I've not seen this, but I've seen a lot of people talking about it.
The best show of the season, you mean?
Is it like a romance? I presume it's a romance.
It's Toradora. It's Toradora, but it's got music in it. That's exactly what it is. You can tell exactly who's gonna get with who, just from like the first scene. So if you're into sort of like you can't.
So if the guy with the glasses and the blonde girl gets together, who gets the other guy? Because he seems really eager.
Because they start off and the two couples are basically reversed. Like you realise that, and then if you watch the opening, Callum, you watch the opening, and so the first episode that like nobody's together, right? And then you watch the opening, and you're like, oh, that one girl's crying. Oh, the other one's with him and happy. And then you're like, oh, I wonder how this is gonna go.
I thought they were just really good friends.
Yeah, it's not a romance at all. This is a friendship anime.
Yeah, I don't know how much they're gonna explore the music idea, but I think it's quite interesting.
Have you watched episode 2?
Yeah, I have.
Well, from that, it seems like that's a big part of it, because that's how they're getting together. There's like, your music isn't like everyone else's music, and that means I like you.
Yeah, they might shift it though. I'm not sure. But...
Yeah, I don't want to go regular romance because I'm really liking the music angle of it.
Yeah, I think it's good, but at the end of the day, I would say it's Toradora in terms of the rom-com aspect.
Is it as good as Toradora, or is it just kind of another romance show?
I would say it's on the level of Toradora. I don't think Toradora is the best romance comedy mind, but yeah.
But romance shows kind of seem to be binary in that they're either pretty good or they're just another romance show. Like you've got like a bunch of really good romance shows and then a bunch of average shows that come out every single season.
I've got to say though, this looks great though. Like animation wise, E1 has finally E1 who produced some really badly animated stuff last season. Yeah. Apparently there was a lot of animation drops because they made loads of fucking stuff, but this is really good.
It's A1. Like A1 are really good when they actually polish a show. The problem is they do so many shows, in so many seasons that they just never polish the shows properly. And with this, it's just like so beautiful compared to a lot of the things they've been pumping out recently.
They're doing 3 shows instead of 6 that they were doing last season.
Yeah.
I think we should probably wrap it up here. I mean, this is by no means are the best shows of this season because I've not even watched half the stuff I want to watch. I don't know about you guys, but there's still 15 shows I want to watch that I haven't even got time to watch the first episode. So
yeah, there's a few shows I want to pick up as well.
Yeah. You know what? People are going to be so pissed in the comments that we haven't talked about Fate Stay Night.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh well, anyway, let's end it.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about it at all.
Yeah.
All anime fans should die. All